I am so incredibly thrilled you're here today because, well, we're going on a seriously mouth-watering culinary journey down the coast of Baja California. We're zeroing right in on the seaside cliffs of a little town called Puerto Nuevo. This gorgeous coastal spot is the undisputed lobster capital of Baja, and today we're going to uncover exactly why this tiny village commands such massive global respect in the food world. Okay, let's dive right into this.
You know a place is something special when the late, great Anthony Bourdain is singing its praises. He famously exclaimed on his show, "I don't even know what Puerto Nuevo-style is, but I want it," right before absolutely devouring a plate of fried lobster on a little plastic plate sitting directly on the beach. I mean, his reaction perfectly captures the legendary, almost mythic status this village holds for foodies everywhere. It's the kind of place that just grabs your appetite before you even fully know what's on the menu.
So that brings us to the really fascinating question at the heart of our explainer today. How exactly did a tiny, primitive fishing camp, I'm talking a place that originally didn't even have electricity or running water, transform into the lobster capital of the world? And what in the world does a cigarette billboard have to do with it? As you'll see, this wasn't some master-planned tourist resort. It's a culinary powerhouse born purely out of necessity, a stroke of luck, and a whole lot of sizzling lard. Section 1. How Newport became Puerto Nuevo. To really get the food, we have to understand the lore of this incredible cliffside community, which is just about 30 minutes south of Tijuana. Picture this, it's 1954, and the 𝗚𝗵𝗽𝗁𝗖𝗄 family arrives here to fish because they've heard the waters are literally teeming with lobster. By 1956, American tourists start driving down the coast, paying local fishermen to take them out in their small boats, called pungas. When the tourists came back totally ravenous, the local women would cook up whatever they caught. But here is my absolute favorite detail. The tourists needed a place to meet up, right? Well, near a local bus stop where a family sold snacks, there was a giant billboard advertising American Newport brand cigarettes. The tourists just started using this billboard as their landmark, translating Newport into Spanish, and boom, Puerto Nuevo was born. Fast forward to the 1970s, and families like the Ortegas moved in, built multiple restaurants, and kicked off a massive culinary boom. To put the scale of this into perspective, the Rosarito coastal area serves over 1 million lobsters annually today. That is a staggering leap from the 1950s. Back then, a local political activist named 𝗖𝗵𝗵𝗽𝗁𝗍 helped the founding families secure just 17 government-granted plots of land so they could legally build their little rustic dining rooms. Today, those 17 plots have exploded into a culinary mecca with over 30 side-by-side restaurants, and almost all of them are dedicated to serving one glorious thing: lobster. Section 2. The anatomy of a Baja catch. Okay, let's talk biology for a second, because the whole identity of Puerto Nuevo is tied to its local marine life. We need to meet the star of the show and bust a few seafood myths while we're at it. On the left, we have our local hero, the California spiny lobster, or Panularis interruptus if we're being scientific. Notice anything missing? Yep, unlike the classic Maine lobster on the right, it doesn't have claws. It thrives in the Pacific and has a much sweeter, way more tender meat than its cold water cousin from the North Atlantic, which has super dense meat. And here's why that matters so much. The spiny lobster has really fine muscle fibers. This biological quirk makes it absolutely perfect for the high-heat frying method Puerto Nuevo is famous for. If you tried this with a Maine lobster, it would get way too tough, but the spiny lobster, it absorbs all that flavor while staying melt-in-your-mouth tender. Section 3. The legendary Lard-Fried feast. All right, prepare yourselves, because we are mentally teleporting straight to the dinner table. To truly get the Puerto Nuevo style, you have to look at the classic sides. We're talking lard refried beans, red Spanish rice, massive oversized Sonora-style flour tortillas, spicy homemade salsa, and fresh limes. So why this exact lineup? Well, remember, in the 1950s, this village had zero electricity and no refrigeration. The fishermen's wives had to rely on staples that wouldn't spoil. They cooked the rice, beans, and tortillas on petroleum stoves, and they deep-fried the fresh lobster in 300-degree pork lard. That intense heat cooked it in like 3 minutes flat, but more importantly, it locked in the tenderness and preserved the meat. It's literally a culinary masterpiece born entirely out of pure survival and necessity. And here is exactly how you eat it. Listen to me, you do not just pick at this with a fork. You have to eat it like a local. Step 1, take that warm, massive flour tortilla and lay it out. Step 2, pull that succulent lard-fried lobster meat right out of its shell and toss it on there. Step 3, pile on those rich refried beans, the red rice, and a really generous scoop of that spicy salsa. Step 4, roll the whole shebang up into a huge, decadent lobster burrito and take a bite. It is the absolute perfect fusion of traditional Mexican hacienda cuisine and fresh coastal Baja seafood. Section 4. What else to order? Now look, while the classic lobster feast is absolutely king around here, the local menus have definitely evolved over the last 70 years. If you want to branch out, places like Villa Ortega offer some stunning alternatives. You'll find sizzling catch of the day specials straight off the grill, or these massive mixed platters piled high with shrimp, octopus, and stick fajitas steaming on wooden boards. And of course, they pair perfectly with a refreshing margarita or an ice-cold beer. But let's dive into some local secrets you really have to try if you go. First up, the lobster chimichanga. This is a wild, amazing creation where they mix lobster with mayo, celery, and tomato, wrap it in a flour tortilla, and deep fry it. Next, you can't miss Sandra's famous crab legs. You can get them either breaded or completely drenched in garlic butter. There's also incredibly fresh halibut or shrimp ceviche. Oh, and at hidden gem spots like 𝗖𝗵𝗍𝗻𝗽𝗁, you can score these traditional rustic Mexican fish stews that are not only ridiculously delicious but also super budget-friendly.
Section 5. Your Puerto Nuevo game plan.
Okay, lean in, because with over 30 restaurants crammed into this tiny village, you need an insider strategy. Here is your ultimate pro tip. Order the 1-pounder. When you sit down, the waiters are going to offer you lobsters of all different sizes. And I know it is so tempting to go for the biggest, most massive lobster they have, but local chefs highly recommend sticking to the smaller ones, right around 1 pound. Why? Well, these younger lobsters are significantly sweeter. Plus, because of those fine muscle fibers we talked about earlier, they don't get tough when they hit that screaming hot lard. Trust me, stick to the 1-pounder for the absolute perfect bite. To make it even easier, here is your ultimate cheat sheet for where to dine. A lot of the restaurants might look pretty identical from the street, but they actually offer very distinct experiences. If you're feeling a historic, colonial vibe with heavily chilled beer glasses, head over to La Casa de la Langosta. For pure, rustic authenticity, Puerto Nuevo 2 is still cooking the exact unadulterated 1956 family recipe. If you're in the mood for cozy fine dining and some excellent local Valle de Guadalupe wines, check out Sandra's. And if you want sweeping ocean views, tableside guacamole, and live mariachi music, Ortega's Patio is absolutely your spot. There really is a perfect table for every type of traveler. So what does this all mean? Ultimately, Puerto Nuevo is a global culinary hub that was born from the most humble roots imaginable. Think about it. What started as women anxiously waiting for their husbands' fishing boats to return, cooking over basic petroleum stoves just to feed a few passing tourists, has evolved into a culturally rich gastronomic powerhouse. It is a brilliant testament to Mexican ingenuity, deep family tradition, and the absolutely incredible natural bounty of Baja California. I'll leave you with this final thought today. When you finally make the trip, will you go for the rich, vibrant history of this seaside village, or will you stay for the legendary, mouth-watering lard-fried lobster? Honestly, I'm pretty sure the only correct answer is both. Thank you so much for joining me on this delicious journey today on The Explainer. I hope you're walking away informed, very hungry, and ready to book your very own weekend trip down to Baja. And so next time, keep exploring.